What's up, casters? Eclipse here with another Elestrals Moonrise opening. Today we have our Fulgoryx starter deck that we are going to open up, and we're going to go over the deck a little bit. So if this is your first look at the Fulgoryx deck, then we'll give you a little breakdown of what the cards do and how they can be used in the deck just straight out of the box. We're also going to open the 3 packs and see if we can hit that stellar Nobby. Alright, so Moonrise has been out for a little bit. Unfortunately, I've not had a chance to record this video until now. But we have 2 starter decks for Moonrise. We have the Fulgoryx, which is... we'll go over the box real quick. We have Wind, Lunar, and a little bit of Thunder in here. So your foes tremble beneath the might of a full moon and the Fulgoryx starter deck. You can see a couple of the Wind cards in here. But yeah, this is one of the 2 starter decks for Moonrise. So like all the starter decks, we come with our Spin Down D20, which is like a purple and like magenta, which looks really good. Probably one of the best dice that they've made. It comes with 3 booster packs, as all of their starter decks do since Frostfall. And then we have the Fulgoryx starter deck itself, and the How to Play guide featuring Posthumous. So these How to Play guides are continuously updated with each set. You can see some of the different Elestrals and stuff in here. Some of the Stellars. There's a Fulgoryx. But that's going to be something for you to look over on your own. So here we have our holographic Fulgoryx. So Fulgoryx is 2 Lunar and 1 Wind, 10 attack, 6 defense. Elestrals that are not solar or lunar enchanted get -5 attack. You can Nexus Lunar or Wind. When this Fulgoryx receives 1 or more Lunar or Wind in a Nexus, you can target an opponent's card and put it on the bottom of their deck. So Fulgoryx is essentially a 15 attack with its own effect. They need to be at least 15 attack in order to swing over it if they are not lunar or solar enchanted. So we'll do a quick opening of the deck itself. So there's the Fulgoryx again, out of the packaging. Very gorgeous. It also comes in the set as a non-holo and a full art box topper and a regular full art in the Moonrise set, as well as a Stellar version in Tournament Pack 2, which you can get from playing at your local game stores. Alright, so let's see if we get a Stellar. We do not get the Stellar Nobby. It would be right behind the Fulgoryx if we did, but that's okay. So we get 3 Nobbies. When this Nobby receives 1 or more Lunar, you can give each Celestial that is not Lunar and Solar enchanted -2 attack until the end phase. Good thing to note, this is also when it is cast. When this Nobby destroys an Celestial in battle, you can special ascend it to Doppelganger from your hand or deck. So, what is Doppelganger, you ask? This is Doppelganger, our middle ascension. Doppelganger is 2 Lunar, 5 attack, 4 defense. Celestials that are not Lunar and or Solar enchanted get -1 attack for each Lunar enchanting this Doppelganger. So, just like with Fulgoryx, with this having 2 Lunar on it, it essentially makes your opponent need to be 7 attack or higher in order to get over it. When this Doppelganger receives 1 or more Lunar or Wind in a Nexus, you can special ascend to Fulgoryx from your hand or deck. So we've got 2 of those, along with our 3 Nobbies. We've got Gloombat. When this Gloombat can be special cast from your hand with Lunar if an opponent has at least 2 face-down runes. You can then disenchant from this Gloombat in order to target and destroy a rune. So this is the Lunar Nexus of Boombat and Glimbat, and this card will target back row. And good thing to note is the destruction does not say face down, so you could take out a Divine, a stadium, an artifact, something that's on their back row. Got 2 of those. Got Havocub, 4/3, 1-drop. This Havocub's position cannot be changed by your opponent's card effects. So if your opponent uses Tsunami or Alter the Stars, they cannot change Havocub's position with that. One thing to note is your own effects, such as Tsunami, can change its position, so be careful with that. We have the Ascension to Havocub, Pulveror. So the text on this card is a little complicated, but I'll try to explain it. This Pulveror in your hand can special ascend from your Lunar Elestral if you also disenchant Lunar from your field. So essentially what that means is, another way to word it is, if you disenchant a Lunar from your field, you may special ascend your Lunar Elestral into this Pulveror. A good way to do this would be to disenchant off of something like your Stadium or your Divine Rune Artemis. Wraith is another pretty good card that will probably see a little bit of use. 2/2, it's a 2 attack, 2 defense, so not the greatest stats, but when it enters battle with an Elestral, you can give that Elestral -2 attack for each Lunar enchanting this Wraith until the end phase. So when it swings in with just the 1 spirit, it essentially becomes 4 attack. Add more spirits using Nexus effects, Full Moon, or Lunar Phase Full Moon, and you can make Wraith drop the attack stat of a lot of your opponent's cards very quickly. Comalis is our Nexuser, 4/2 stats. You can Nexus up to 2 Lunar. When you do, you can search your deck for a Spectral Elestral and add it to your hand. So one thing to note is the Nabi line is not considered Spectral, but things like Wraith, Spectrus, those are. So you got 2 Comalis. Carrion. This is the reprint of this card from base set. When this Carrion is destroyed in battle, you can target the Elestral that destroyed it and take control of that Elestral until the end phase. So, same effect, new art, but it also has a new Ascension in Carry Off. When your Carrion is destroyed by battle, you can special cast this Carry Off from your hand. You can expend 2 Lunar in order to target an opponent's Elestral and take control of it until the end phase. So, Carrion goes into battle, attacks something and is destroyed. If that Elestral remains on the field, Carrion can steal it for you, and then you can special cast your Carry Off from the hand. And then if Carry Off remains on the field during each of your turns, you can steal one of their Elestrals with double Lunar. Exaltair, another base set card we're very familiar with. You can Nexus up to 2 Wind. When you do, your opponent must expend 2 spirits. So it burns your opponents for 2 and allows you to Nexus to try to get your Fulgoryx out. Vertuka, another very good Wind Elestral. When this attacking Vertuka enters battle with an attack position Elestral that has equal or fewer enchanting spirits, you can suppress that Elestral and destroy it. If you do, this Vertuka deals no damage this battle. So this can essentially take out any of your opponent's Elestrals in attack position as long as they have the same or fewer number of spirits than Vertuka does. We've got Elechick, which is our typical Divine Searcher. Search your deck for your Divine. It comes with 2. One thing to note, Elechick is currently limited to 1 copy per deck. So you could play this deck as is out of the box, but if you change any card in the deck, you must at least take out 1 Elechick to fit with the normal rules. We've got 2 Nectar of the Gods, 2 Ambrosias, Circle the Sky for some more Nexus. We have our Divine Artemis. So Artemis has been around for a little while thanks to Shattered Stars, but this is the first printing of the actual common Artemis. When you cast this Artemis, you can enchant up to 3 more Lunar to it. You can disenchant Lunar in order to suppress one of your opponent's cards until the your opponent's next end phase. So if your opponent has a Divine, that's being pesky, you can use Artemis to turn off its effect until the end of their next turn, or even turn off stadiums. So, speaking of stadiums, we have 2 Temple of the Moon. We have the Bow of Artemis rune. The Empowered Elestral deals piercing damage. So piercing, if you attack a defense position Elestral, you will still deal damage as if it was an attack. When the Empowered Elestral declares an attack, you can Nexus 1 Lunar from your Artemis to the Empowered Elestral. We have an Aeolus, which allows you to disenchant 2 wind from it in order to search for a 1-cost wind Elestral from your deck. So that's a good way to go get your Exaltair or your Vertuka. 2 copies of Alter the Stars for Nexus and position change. 1 copy of Helios' Chariot Ride, which will stop your opponents from playing their runes during the turn that this card is cast, but this card must be cast during the draw phase. 2 Poison Tipped Arrow, a great staple that lowers the attack of an Elestral by 2 points, and then at the end of the turn, you may expend spirits equal to that card's enchantment cost in order to destroy it. We have a new card, Divine Healing, which allows you to take up to 3 spirits from your underworld and enchant them to do your divine. So if you've gone through a bunch of your spirits or you've used your divine a few times, you can get Divine Healing in order to put those spirits back on it and keep it around to use its effect or to Nexus from. And finally, we have our spirit deck. We have 1 Zaptor, 7 Lycaris, and the remainder are Owloons. So that is the Fulgoryx starter deck in its whole. Overall, it's a very good deck. However, there is a little bit of extra skill required due to a lot of the effects being Nexus focused. However, if you can get Fulgoryx on the field and keep it around, it is very difficult to get over unless you're playing against a solar or a lunar player. So, good luck for all of you who want to use Fulgoryx in your decks and start with the Fulgoryx starter deck. So, like I said, and then like we said, all starter decks come with 3 booster packs. So, let's take a look and see what we get out of these. And if there's any good cards for the starter deck, I will try to point them out. Alright, so pack trick 1 to the front to get our spirit. We have a Leviathan. Magnetic Force Field. This card is good against any kind of burn deck, such as Exaltair, Toxion, Toxiswarm Burn, Eruption, Vesuvituga, things like that. Got another Nobby. A Fawnlet, which we'll see in the other video with the Posthumous starter deck. Voldusk, the cute little fox that plays with the lunar phases. Another Gloombat, so you could play a 3 of if you wanted to. Tsunami High Tide. This will let you change the position of up to 2 Elestrals and then enchant water or lunar from your underworld to your field. So it's a pretty good card as an invoke Tsunami. The biggest downside is you'll have to put in water for your deck, and it's just kind of a tight list already. Aurora Borealis is a pretty decent frost counter rune. Discard a card in order to enchant up to 1 frost from your underworld to your field, and return 1 frost from your underworld to your spirit deck. So essentially you discard a card, heal 1, and re-enchant 1 to your field. Cunning Offer is a card that allows you to give one of your Elestrals to your opponent, and when that Elestral is destroyed in battle, that opponent must expend 3. And our rare is a non-holo Fulgoryx. So if you wanted to play the non-holo version or wanted to play 2, there you go. You get it. That's a possible pull for you. Alright, what will we get in the second pack? 1 to the front. So we've got another Owloon. Got a Windjin, which is a interesting wind card that plays with a little bit of solar. It allows you to foretell 3 and if you predict what one of those 3 cards is by stating it aloud beforehand, then you can special ascend it into its larger form, Tornadin. Another Carrion. Snowlet, which is a very gambly deck for Frost. If anybody's familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's very similar to Tearlament. Kokore, a solar Elestral that cannot be suppressed, which is the first of its kind. And if you activate First Light, you could special ascend it to Draco Ray from your hand or deck, which is its Ascension. Armadon. Armadon is a 1/6 that when it changes position, an opponent must burn for 1, so that's a very interesting card to play with. Hypnosum, 1/1 Lunar. When this Hypnosum is destroyed, you can special cast it from your Underworld in attack position Misenchanted. So if it's destroyed by battle, or by card effect, you can bring it back to the field in attack position, but it has to be enchanted with a spirit that is not lunar. So it just allows you to keep a body around for a little bit longer. Werepup, which is a very powerful card that is in one of the top decks right now called Lunar Aggro. When you normal cast this Werepup, you can search your deck for a Lunar Phase and add it to your hand, and when Lunar Phase Full Moon is cast, you can special ascend this Werepup into Like a Void from your hand or deck. So that's one of the strongest cards in the meta right now with Like a Void. Bandaloon, you can expend it to Lunar in order to take control of an opponent's face-down rune. So that rune will become yours on your side of the field, and you will be able to activate it, and of course, that means you'll be able to find out what it was that you took. So if it was an Ambrosia that was baited or a Hurricane, you can use those effects yourself. If it was something such as Gorgon's Gaze or Shield of Achilles, you also get to take advantage of that. And our rare is a Comalis Hollow. So if you like playing with hollows, you could take out one of the non-hollow Comalis and replace it with this one, or you could just add another Comalis to your deck. Alright, final pack for this starter deck. Ooh. Camera's gone a little fuzzy. Hold on. Let me fix. I did not lock this before I started recording. I apologize. There we go. Alright, we have a Terratlas. Luxomare, when an opponent takes control of this Luxomare, you can special cast an Aeostale from your hand to deck. So this is what plays with that Cunning Offer card we saw earlier. Our first Lunar Phase, first quarter. It's a counter rune that allows you to draw a card, and then you may discard a Lunar Phase to return a Voldusk, Volumbra, or Volclipse from your Underworld to your hand. So a little bit of draw and a little bit of recycling. Lunar Phase Waning Gibbous is an invoke that allows you to shuffle a Lunar Phase, Volumbra, or Volclipse from your hand or Underworld to your deck in order to search for a Voldusk and add it to your hand. So another way to get that Voldusk if you need to get the body. Lunar Phase Final Quarter, which allows you to search your deck for 2 Lunar Phases, send them to the Underworld, and when this Lunar Phase is discarded by another Lunar Phase, you can heal 1 from your Underworld to your Spirit deck. So, as you can see, the Lunar Phases play a lot into each other, and it's a very combo-oriented deck that requires playing all 8 different Lunar Phases. Another Temple of the Moon. Ardvarum, which is an interesting card that can be played with the Fulgoryx line. Ardvarum focuses on eating bugs and getting out its 3-cost form called Antitan. Cedarsaur, another card that's played in the Snowlet Tearlament deck. When it's sent from your deck to your Underworld, you can special cast it with either double Earth or double Frost. And if it is properly enchanted, you can expend an Earth in order to search your deck for a 3-cost Earth or Frost Elestral and add it to your hand. So it's a dedicated search for 3 drops, as well as a 2-drop body on the field if it's milled from your deck. Cactobrum, a very interesting Earth card that plays with Sandstorm, as well as its own 1-drop Cactobral. When it receives one or more Earth, you can special cast a Cactobral from your underworld, and this Cactobrum cannot be targeted by Invoke runes. So that means no Earthquake, no Resting. And then we have a Necrolith for our Hollow. Necrolith can be normal cast with 2 Lunar if an opponent has at least 2 suppressed cards. When you cast this Necrolith, you can destroy a suppressed Elestral. So, very hard to play right now just because there's not a whole lot of suppression outside of combat. And a lot of the suppression tools are Lunar focused, so they don't work against Lunar, which is very popular right now. But there you go. There's the Fulgoryx starter deck. There is our 3 packs. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to pick this up, please check out the description. We have a link to Silver Sage's Sanctuary, where if you use code Eclipse, you'll save 5% off of your orders. Just want to note, this does not include the bundles that you will see that contain 2 starter decks and 6 extra packs. So, if you want to go try out the Fulgoryx starter deck for yourself, go hit up Silver Sage's, use code Eclipse for 5% off, and pick up a starter deck or 2. With that, I've been Eclipse, and I hope to see you in the Clash.